Hey y'all, it's Sparkle and welcome back to Sparkle Speaks, where we put our purpose in place to allow our calling to draw you through content. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, invite them in, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when our upcoming episodes are live. Today is a very special episode. And it's a special episode because we're going to be talking about stripes. And the topic of this discussion today is earn your stripes. And a lot of times we go through things that can paralyze us. Sometimes it's not always physically. It can be mentally, it can be emotionally. And we don't oftentimes realize what we're doing or the situations that we're in are doing to us. But through trials and tribulations that we face, it can be used by God to refine us, our character, and it can also deepen our faith. So as you can see, if you can see, I have on all white. But I also have some stripes on me. And I was actually last night when I was getting my thoughts together and figuring out what I was going to talk about. And I thought about the different things that I went through in life, like the different trials, the different tribulations, the tests, and the hiccups. I started to write them down. I put them in my phone. I was typing them up and I was just like, wow, you done been through a lot. Like I've been through a lot, and I'm quite sure that all of you who are listening have been through some similar things that I've been through or even more. But I just wanted to get on here and in this episode to just encourage you guys, because if God will bring you to something, he's going to bring you through it. So I feel like a lot of times, and like I spoke in the last episode that I told my previous guest, I said, what's a test without a testimony? What's a testimony without a test? So we tend to go through a lot of things and we never know while we're in it, like what benefit is going to have for us until we actually get out of it. So I just want to talk about a few of the things that, and these are I'm going to tell y'all just a few things that I've been through that I'm sure a lot of you have been through as well. So on here, I do have a broken heart. And I know a lot of us may have faced broken hearts, and I've definitely faced it. And it's not easy. Oftentimes, back when I was going through that process, I would, lay in my bed, I'd cry and just asking God why, why me? Why am I going through this? Or why do people tend to hurt me, or that causes me to hurt other people? Or I may be hurting people and I don't even know that I'm hurting them. So that's causing pain. And then I also have love triangle. Whew. Y'all, I done been through a few of those. Not voluntarily, involuntarily. But when I found out about it, that brings a great deal of pain. So oftentimes you get into situations that you don't ask to be in. You're put in these positions by force. I have clubbing, and I was clubbing to fill an emptiness. And the crazy thing about that is I talked to my daughter, a couple of days ago, and I asked her, how did you feel, when I would go out and I would be out and I would be doing what I'm doing, and I come back and she didn't even have an answer for me. And she was just like, I don't know. But then when I thought about it, I was like, she didn't give me an answer, but for me, it was me filling an emptiness that I had inside of me, but I didn't know how to express that at the time. So as I'm writing out all the different things that I've went through, and I'm like, wow, I was really clubbing to fill an emptiness that I didn't know that I had. I have up here on my shoulder. I can't even read it. Counterfeit love. I just thought counterfeit love. Oftentimes, and it's so funny because I be telling people like I don't feel like I ever been in love before. And people look at me and they be like, girl, you is crazy. But I feel like love, I feel like it should be a forever feeling, like an everlasting feeling. So it's like, I feel like people will come into your life and they'll act a certain way to get you to pretty much fall into their hands, or they'll act like they love you. They'll try to show you different ways. They'll be counterfeit pretty much. It'll a wolf in sheep clothing. Like they'll act as if, they're that person. They're really not. So I've dealt with a great deal of counterfeit love, loss of a sibling. I talked about this on my previous episode. Losing my brother at the age of 12. One parent household. I know there's a great deal of you all that's watching that didn't have a 2-parent household. I know I didn't, and it definitely, I feel like it affected a lot of things and a lot of things that I've did in my life, but it also made me be a stronger person as well. So anything that I went through, I don't regret it, because I know that it was for a purpose, and God had to plan all this all along. Molestation. And the crazy thing about it, I've carried this for practically all my life. I feel like I never really talked about it or told my mom or anyone about it until I was grown. I was in my 30s. Well, I'm only 34, but like in the beginning stages of me turning 30, and it hurt because oftentimes, and I know a few of you can relate, the people that you are closest to, you wouldn't think that they would hurt you in a way that is kind of indescribable. And I feel like I may have never talked about it, because how can you talk about this? It's kind of hard to talk about. But with God, when I surrendered my life, I had to surrender that as well, because I was carrying it for all my life, for so long. And in order for me to move forward and forgive those people, I had to let it go. And that's why I'm able to talk about it so freely, because I'm no longer hurt about it. I'm no longer sad. I'm no longer mad. I actually feel like the same thing may have happened to them, which caused them that to happen to me. Let's see, backbiting, lying, cheating, a great deal of things that we may go through in life. But with all these things, we're able to figure out how to navigate through life with it. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to look in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror, you're able to see yourself. And I want you to begin to take off all those things that you have went through in your life. With me, I began to take off everything, the pain, the hurt, because I feel like I've earned my stripes. Once I surrendered my life to God, He allowed me to see that I went through all these things for a great deal and a great purpose, and there was a plan throughout my life, and I had to be able to tell my story. I needed to be able to show you all that there is greater later. Even throughout all the things that you go through in your life, there's going to come a time where God is going to step right in and show you the reasoning that you went through everything that you went through. And every day that you wake up, I want you to be bold. I want you to be courageous. I want you to stand firm. And I want you to know that there is a God that sits high and he looks low. And he has a plan and a purpose just for you. In the Bible, there was a man that was paralyzed for 38 years. And Jesus went to him and he healed him. And he told him to take up his bed and walk. And as you can see, I have my stripes. And as you're looking in your mirror, you see that you have your spiritual stripes and that God is there for you to pick you up and you're able to keep walking. You take up your bed and you walk and you keep striving for the things that God wants for you and that he has for you. And I just wanted to come on here with you all today and encourage you to wear your stripes because you've earned them and you wear them proudly and you walk, you bold, courageous, you stand firm and let everyone and anyone know anyone that has hurt you, anyone that you've hurt. Like, you can talk about me all day, but I've earned my stripes. What else can you say about me? Because anything that I've done to you, it's a stripe. Anything that you've done to me, it's a stripe. But guess what? I'm going to wear them. I'm going to wear them proudly because God told me to Jesus told me to take up my bed and I'm going to walk and I'm going to wear it proudly. And I want you all to do the same. And I want to thank you all for tuning in on this episode of Earning Your Stripes. And I want you to stay tuned for the next up and coming episodes. And until then, I want you to ask a friend, have you heard Sparkle speak?